Hi everyone, welcome to this special bonus training where I'm going to cover how to test and hire programmers. In this video, I'm going to show you how to test programmers that you want to be a part-time or full-time member of your outsourced team. If you want to hire someone for your team, the candidates are more willing to jump through the hoops and invest the time in testing. You can use the automated hiring funnel to test, but just make sure that the testing you do is related to the programming language that you're hiring for. For phase one of the hiring process, you're going to filter the candidates using online tests. Remember, for phase one of the hiring process, you're just testing basic skills. So extremely simple programming tests are step one of any sane interview process. These tests should happen online, and the goal is not to prove that the candidate is some kind of coding genius, but that they know what the heck programming is. For this online testing, we recommend having applicants take the FizzBuzz test. FizzBuzz style screening is required to keep interviewers from wasting their time interviewing programmers who can't program. So why did the creator develop this test? Here's what he had to say. After a fair bit of trial and error, I've discovered that people who struggle to code don't just struggle on big problems or even smallish problems, i.e., write an implementation of a linked list. They struggle with tiny problems. So I set out to develop questions that can identify this kind of developer and came up with a class of questions I call FizzBuzz questions, named after a game children often play or are made to play in schools in the UK. An example of a FizzBuzz question is the following. Write a program that prints the numbers from 1 to 100, but for multiples of 3, print fizz instead of the number, and for the multiples of 5, print buzz. For numbers which are multiples of both 3 and 5, print fizz buzz. Most good programmers should be able to write out on paper a program which does this in under a couple of minutes. Want to know something scary? The majority of comp sci graduates can't. I've also seen self-proclaimed senior programmers take more than 10 to 15 minutes to write a solution. So here's what the FizzBuzz test page looks like. And to use this test, applicants need to sign up for an account. And once they complete the test, have them send you a screen capture of their score from the submission result. The easiest way to do this is to have them use Jing screen capture software, which is free. And here's an example of what a submission result will look like. You can see that this submission, this person got a 100% score. And the language that he chose to program this test in is Python. You can see in the different tabs at the top that they can choose the different language to program. So if you're looking for a specific language, you can put that in the instructions. Now, since you're using the automated hiring funnel, you'll want to set up your canned email responses for when the applicants do send you their test results. If you need a refresher on how to do this, you can find instructions in the course training module 2, the job posting, video number 3, using auto-canned email responses. Remember, because you're using the automated hiring funnel, you're not even looking at the results yet. This test is just to help you start filtering people out. For phase 2 of the hiring process, you're going to give more detailed testing. Remember for phase 2 that you're testing the advanced skills of your applicants. This will also tell you who is willing to follow through and do what it takes to get your job done. There are 4 different ways that you can do this testing, so I'm going to go over each one. Testing option 1, give them a real-world mini task. This task should be related to something that you actually want or need done, and ideally it should take the applicant no more than 1 to 2 hours to complete. Testing option 2, you can use practice problems from Hacker Earth. If you're familiar enough with the programming language you want to hire for, you can look through the practice problems on this page and choose one to use it as a test task. When you click on a problem, you'll see a scenario description at the top and the code test instructions. The applicant can do the test right here on this page, so all you need to do is give them the link to the page. And just like before with the FizzBuzz test in Phase 1, applicants need to either sign up or log in before they can do the test. Testing option 3 is to have the applicants take the skills tests on Odesk. Get them to sign up for Odesk if they're not already on it, then have them take the appropriate skills tests for programming. These tests are free to take, and they can only retake the test once every 30 days. Testing option 4 is to pay a high-end programmer to develop a test task for you. To do this, find a highly rated programmer on Odesk by looking at the reviews and number of hours worked for the specific language that you want to test. You can hire that programmer for 1 hour to design a test task for you. You can also hire the same programmer to get their feedback on the applicants. This feedback can include reviewing the code that the applicants submit and reviewing their past work to see if they're a good programmer. For all 4 of these testing options, you can have the applicants submit their results to you the same way they did in Phase 1 testing by using Jing. Once you have your submissions for this phase, you can go through them and decide who you want to interview. And of course, you might want to include some programming-related questions in your Skype interview. Now, if you don't want to use the automated hiring funnel to test people, this is how you can still find qualified programmers to work for you. And this is actually the method that Gonzalo uses most often when he wants to hire a part-time or full-time programmer for his team. So all you do is you go to the Odesk Skills test page, and you do have to be logged into Odesk to see this page. You can look at qualified freelancers who took the skills test that you want and invite them to work on your project. The great thing is that these programmers are already screened and tested for you. Once the results page comes up, if you want to narrow down the list of candidates some more, there's some more sorting options that you can choose from. For the category, you don't need to select anything because this list is already sorted for the language that you want. For the feedback rating, just choose your preference. If the hourly rate is important to you, adjust the slider to match what you want. For hours billed and last activity, just choose your preference. If you want a programmer from a specific location, you can choose that as well. You can also choose the level of English speaking ability that you want. For freelancer type, we recommend choosing independent. From our experience, you can get the best rates that way. You can also sort by test score. We usually look for programmers that scored in the top 10%. Once you've narrowed down the list with your specifications, you can contact the programmers that interest you directly and invite them to work on your project. So that's it. This is how you can test programmers that you want to be a part of your team on a part-time or full-time basis. And don't forget to check out the resources section below this video for all the links I mentioned in this video.